Karnataka, when it comes to climate, it's always favorable when it comes to farmers and their agriculture. Karnataka has its own history when it comes to agro-based industry. When we talk about all this, of course, we'll even think about our ways of starting a business in a particular state or a particular country. But in today's video, I'll be talking to you guys about Karnataka itself, because in this video, I'll be telling you what are the fine crops to be grown in Karnataka and are they profitable and why is it profitable itself. And moving on to the next part, you can also consider growing in Karnataka because of the reasons that I will be listing down to you. I'm Varsha. Welcome to the Freedom Farming English channel. Do not forget to subscribe and download our Freedom app. We all know that Karnataka is very favorable when it comes to climate for growing particular crops, and we all know the way it keeps helping people and also farmers to build their own way of business. And when we think about farming, people usually take a step back, but what they've not seen is the present generation, which is based on the agro-based industry and is growing towards the success of it. And today, you'll be learning the couple of crops that you can also grow in Karnataka. And starting off with is, of course, rice. And when we talk about rice, rice has its own speciality in Karnataka and it's grown in a wide range all over the state. And when we move on to the varieties, we can actually list down more than 5. And that's depending on the way that you can consume when it comes to fitness, or you can consume according to the way that you have to intake carbs. So more than 28.2% of the region in Karnataka grow rice, and this is mostly grown near the rivers Krishna, Tungabhadra and Kaveri. And also few coastal regions happen to grow this particular crop, and the advantage of this crop is that it's consumed in a large amount, and as we know that there is no going down when it comes to rice, because rice also has its own speciality and varieties that have been consumed all over the country. Raichur is also one of the places which has the highest growth when it comes to rice. Next one like we'll be going to is the corns. When we talk about corns itself, we know the way that they're actually consumed. They're even used as snacks in the present world, and also when we talk about the way that it can be consumed in sandwiches and burgers, it has its own speciality. That is one of the added advantages at the present time. Moving on to the sector of growth, there's 26.2% regions growing the particular crop, and there is so much value and demand for this particular crop, and mostly this is grown in North Karnataka. Like we know, they actually consume rotis, which are famous there, and they consume this on the daily basis itself. When it comes to South Karnataka, it's actually most used in the cattle food and cattle business. And also moving on to the part which is the highest grown place, Vijaypura is actually suggested to be the highest grown place for corn. Next one is the sugarcane. Like we know that it has its own speciality when it comes to a particular juice, but it's also used for making sugar, and it stands fourth in the entire country when it comes for making sugar. And moving on to the part where it's grown, irrigation is must when it comes to sugarcane. And moving on to the part where it's consumed more, Belgavi actually has been told that it produces more when it comes to sugarcane crop. And moving on to the part where this particular crop is actually an annual crop. Bagalkote, Ballari, Mysore, Mandya, etc. also happen to grow this particular crop. Next crop is actually cotton, which is always in use, and when it comes to also making clothes and mattresses, cotton is also must and should. And moving on to the part where it is consumed even for the cattle food, it is also made as a cake from the seeds of cotton. And also this is very useful and mostly produced in Haveri. Mysore, Dharwad and Kalburgi also are in line when it comes to the most produced. Next one is the millets. When we talk about millets itself, we can see the uses of it at the way it's running today. It's almost used in most of the things, and when we talk about fitness, millets plays a major role. And these are also cash crops that you can actually store for a longer time. Moving on to the part where rice is also one of the cash crops, these are added advantages. And when we talk about food and also the way it's been produced, we can see that there are millet dosas, we can see that there are millet rice, and these have been consumed more and more over time. And not only that, these can even be used as cattle food. Next one is coffee. Like we all know, we know so many coffee lovers right around us, and the way coffee is actually being made the signature of Tamil Nadu. Like we also know that coffee was first consumed in Tamil Nadu, we can also see the way it's growing. Karnataka stands first in the entire country when it comes to coffee exports. Moving on to the part where it's produced more, Kodagu actually stands first, and this production has been increasing over time. We can even see Chikmagalur, Sakleshpur also combining and going ahead with the coffee exports as well. And when we talk about coffee, Karnataka actually grows two most important types of coffee, which is Arabica and Robusta. Next one is cashew. Like we all know that dry fruits is consumed more and more, and in case when it comes to sudden gift exchange or also special gift exchange, we also happen to give dry fruits as a token of love from each other. But what happens is that, over time, dry fruits have actually increased in demand and value, and cashew has its own place when it comes to demand. Like we can see, Karnataka stands 6th in the entire country when it comes to cashew production, and also Dakshin Karnataka is rated as the most produced when it comes to cashew, followed by Udupi and Belgaum as well. Next one is banana. And when we think about this particular crop, what we see is that there is almost 10,000 acres conquered in Karnataka just for this particular fruit to be grown. And moving on to the approximate budget that they make is almost 2 times of the other countries itself. That is where banana has its own speciality in this particular country. And moving on to the part where its growth is, it stands 5th in the entire country, and also irrigation is must and should for this particular crop. Moving on to the part where it's grown majorly, it's Belgavi district, and this particular district is favorable for the growth of bananas itself. Next one is groundnut. When it comes to Karnataka, they have this speciality called as Kadlekai per se. When it comes to the entire growth of groundnuts, they have a separate celebration for this particular crop, and when it comes to the demand for this crop also increases during this season. The added advantage is that Karnataka stands 5th when it comes to the growth of groundnuts, and also moving on to the next advantage is that you can grow this particular crop even in Kharif and Rabi season. And also it does not actually require too much of water for growth. And hope I have given you enough information when it comes to the crops that actually help you in contributing towards business and also getting good profit. These are the crops that I have in mind, and if you also think that you have a couple of things in mind, do not forget to like and comment below, because there are so many people who actually need to understand this. And download our Freedom app, because it's got way too many courses when it comes to organic farming, because we are going to teach you about each and every business that I just mentioned as a crop from the scratch, and how to start this as well. And moving on to the part of business and marketing, we even teach you more and more in depth when it comes to business and marketing. And business is always supported with the financial side as well. We have even courses on that. Overall, we have more than 800 courses and more than 1500 mentors teaching you how to start this particular business, and these can also act like examples for you. Hoping that I have given you a heads up on this particular business. Thank you so much. That is a wrap on this video. Get wise and break free.